Welcome to my comfy couch of horror. We are back on the tube after an exhausting but super fun and spooky weekend at Halloween Horror Nights. Here with me to talk about all the gory details is my Lord and Savior, Jesus.
Woo, yay!
Hola.
And the rebel, Spanish.
Hello. Thanks for having me back, Shotzi.
Thanks for being here, Spanish.
You
Thanks
made
for
it.
being here, Jesus. All right, Halloween Horror Nights 2023. We started on Saturday. Jesus and I got a head start of Spanish, and we got there on Saturday. We did about 6 houses. You missed out on Bloodmoon, so I want to start off with Bloodmoon.
It wasn't our favorite one for sure.
Yeah, honestly, Spanish, there's a reason why we...
We're okay
Kinda-
with missing it yesterday?
Yeah. I kind of navigated you and Brandy into the houses that I really wanted you guys to see.
Okay.
And Dark Offerings was the one house that I was okay that y'all didn't see.
Is there a reason?
Like, we didn't want you to
well,
miss out on one of the really good ones
Okay.
I don't know.
instead of that one.
Well, maybe you would have liked this one, but it was like your like coven witchy house, but there wasn't any like monsters in this. Like there was a lot of scenes where just like normal peasants,
Hanging out.
normal peasant-looking people were just murdering people.
Colonial village people.
Yeah, and but no monsters. There was one really cool scene where we go into the church.
This
and
was a cool
everyone's
scene.
Yeah, and everyone's wearing these like hay cloaks that were really creepy looking.
Ooh.
You see in the
And-
back of everybody, so you don't see any faces.
Yeah. But other than that, like the actual like scare actors were not scary.
But
yeah.
hey, we missed it to do other things, right?
Yes. I mean, there was a lot of other things that I needed you and Brandy to see. So we
Like-
got them in. We did 9 out of 10.
Like the first house that you did.
Oh yeah, we started hot with Spanish on Sunday, and we started at Stranger Things, which
Huge fan of Stranger Things, by the way. I've watched every season. This last season I've watched on repeat all the time. And on a scale of 1 to 10, I give it a solid 8. I give it a solid 8. Everything was really cool. A great detail to the story. If you've done any of the other houses of Stranger Things at Universal, it's just like the other ones. It starts in the beginning of the season and it progresses as the episodes go on. It's really cool. My favorite part, the greatest scene in all the house was at the very end with Eddie and Dustin rocking
Yeah.
out to Metallica.
yeah, as soon as we got Metallica, I was like, all right, we're good. Because that is all I wanted from this house. I needed to be in
I'm really they got that
Vecna's
song in
lair.
there.
Yes, yeah, I needed to be in Vecna's lair. I needed to be in hell and listen to Metallica. And they were even up like on a stage.
That
is
was dope.
What looked like.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
With the
That
big
was-
screen behind them with all the moving effects. That was in a few houses that I hadn't really had past experiences in. A lot of LED screen usage this year.
They had the bats because if you remember that last episode
Mhm.
when Eddie's on top ripping, all the
Yeah.
bats are coming at him.
Yep.
And that's what they did. They had this screen and the bats were coming at them as they were doing their thing. And it was really, really cool.
Yeah, that was awesome. Oh, another scene that I really loved when they're in the house, we're in the
Oh,
upside
and you
down, and
look-
then you look up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
and
right.
When they're
there was
going through the hole in
upside
the
down
trailer.
scene. Yeah, with the what is it, the rope that they made?
Yes, they're
and the
going
mattresses underneath
in and
them.
out of the upside down world.
Yeah, that one was really cool. I looked up and I was like, now that's sick. Like we're getting a full 360 right here. So that was awesome.
Very cool. I like that house a lot.
Metallica.
Good job, Universal.
Yes.
Netflix.
I wish we got a better moment of what's the redhead's name? That's
Max?
floating. Yeah, Max. We got a good visual of that, but they didn't have the song as
Oh
loud
yeah,
as
we
I
didn't
thought.
we got Metallica, but we didn't get Kate Bush.
I hate to correct both of you, but we did. It was
No,
it was
in
very
there.
faint.
Yes, it was in there. But
very
it was faint. I wanted
It
to
was-
Well-
walk in and see her floating, and that song is blasting.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean, if you're gonna get the rights to that song, you might as well use it a little more.
Yeah,
I love when they have the creepy music, like when they did The Weeknd and they had so like the creepy versions of his song. Oh, I'm in love with it. Yeah,
We loved it.
that was a good one.
Next house.
Chucky Ultimate Kill Count.
Yeah.
Jesus, give it to me.
I really like this house. And the group not a lot of us liked this house, but I really did. My favorite part was that there was a lot of actual Chucky dolls in there. My fear was that there was going to be like you're going
Like
into
giant
Chucky's world, like your Toy Story, and there's human-sized Chucky's in there. That would have been pretty
Dude,
lame.
I disagree with you. I wish that's what it was.
That would have been.
I wish
that
there
would've
was
been too
giant
hokey.
Chucky dolls like, ha ha ha, I am
If
giant
they were
Chucky.
if they were the robotic ones, that would have been cool. But I like that they were Chucky size. I don't know if they were puppets or how they were doing it, but I thought it looked really cool that they were Chucky's at your knees and coming out of windows and on top of counters. That was pretty neat.
Not one of my favorite houses, but that whole factor of making Chucky life size as he would be if he were in the real world.
Yeah.
Great idea. Great thing. Because as soon as you walk into the house, you see a life size Chucky doll sitting outside a box talking to you.
Like there's a movie, Honey, I Blew Up Chucky, and then he takes over New York, right?
Like the Marshmallow Man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I did like one scene where they had like all the boxes of the Chucky dolls, and then he was
Yeah.
like popping out of boxes and trying to slice and dice you.
It was a well done house. I'll say that. It was a well done.
Yeah, I mean, it was probably one of my bottom tier houses, but but yeah, I mean, I love Chucky, so I'm always gonna love anything Chucky related.
Yep. And it was in the Fast and Furious queue, so we got to see some preview videos and some cool cars. I wish they had a Chucky in a car, like he
Yeah,
was driving.
Chucky's family,
Yeah, he is family, but
they didn't let him drive any cars.
It's because
He
he's not
can't
old.
hit the.
He's not old enough.
gas
He doesn't
pedal.
have his license yet.
No, I think he has his license. I just don't think that he can reach the pedals.
That's true.
We did see Liv.
Oh yeah, and homegirl Liv Morgan,
Woo-woo.
Daddy O, what is up? I saw you in that house. I'm so jealous. That is so freaking cool. Like,
We got to watch you
What-
die like
yeah.
30 times while waiting in
yeah,
line.
it was like on replay. It was pretty dope. I was like, oh, there's Liv dying again. You die spectacularly. So that was cool to see. Homegirl Liv on the screen dying by Chucky. Super cool. That was our
That was house number.
yeah, that was house number 2.
2.
I
Yeah, for the
give
big
it a
group.
I give it a 5 out of 10. I give it a 5 out of 10.
Yeah, I'd give it a 6.
4.
4?
Ooh.
Brutal. You're never getting back into the
I'm
part
a hard
Spanish.
I'm a hard critic.
Then the next house we did was
Okay,
possibly your
so like,
favorite.
oh, I mean, all right, well, okay. The third house that we got into was Dr. Oddfellows' Twisted Origin. And I have to say, of all the houses, this one was the one that I was least excited about. And this happens to me every year, I feel like, because like last year I did Dead Man's Wharf. I skipped out on that. We did 9 houses the first night, and then we went back the second night and finally did Dead Man's Wharf. And
Oh yeah.
it was my
Yeah, we didn't
favorite
do
house
that one the
last
first
year.
night.
I was like, that doesn't look appetizing to me.
Yeah.
But it was my favorite house. And then we go into Dr. Oddfellows, which Dr. Oddfellow, icon this year, did an awesome job and a completely sexy fellow. I didn't know that Dr. Oddfellow was this attractive. I go into this house, and this is my favorite house. Oh, was I not supposed to say that? Well, anyway.
No, I already
I
I
was
said
gonna-
that this might have been your favorite house.
Okay, I mean, I was going to save it for the end, but I'm just too excited, and I'm going to say it. Dr. Oddfellow Twisted Origin was my favorite house.
And why is it your favorite house?
All of like the cool carnival scenes. I didn't realize that we were gonna see this like this array of carnivals. It was so awesome.
Even the outside of the building, they had all the lights projected on it, make it look
yeah,
like a big circus tent.
Yeah, the entrance for it was awesome. Just like everything all around was super duper cool. I think I smelled popcorn while we were in there. So yeah,
It's one of those houses if you have a chance to just breathe for a second when you're not having the life skid out of you. Look at all the detail in that house. That's what really sold me on it. Is all the really cool detail. And shout out to Universal. We were talking about this before we got on. I was mentioning it. You guys have done carnival circus themed houses over the last couple of years, and you guys knock it out of the park every time. Detail is amazing. Dr. Oddfellow, the actors in there, just absolutely amazing. Well done house from beginning to end.
yeah, Dr. Oddfellows. one sexy man. He was up on his stage and I yelled at him.
Yeah.
I had
She
to.
did.
I'm
She
sorry.
did.
True
I
story.
had to catcall Dr. Oddfellow, but you know what? He gave me a little smirk, so I think he was into it.
Yeah, he was.
Sorry, Jesus.
That's okay. He's not real.
Or is he?
They should do an Oddfellow versus Jack House, though. If they
I
haven't
would
already done
love
it, that
to
would be
see
pretty
that.
cool.
I would
Tying
love
in
to
with
see
the
that.
HHN.
Because they
canon.
actually do have a huge history in like
Yeah, it's a good backstory.
Yeah, the HHN lore. Dr. Oddfellow and Jack go at it, and I'm pretty sure one or the other murdered each other, but they're immortal, so it doesn't matter. They just come back to life anyway. So yeah, that would be cool. But yeah, that was spectacular, and all the like what do you call them? The freaks in the carnival made an appearance, so that was awesome.
Makeup done well on them as well.
Yes, yeah,
Really cool.
awesome makeup, awesome costumes.
Make that a
Awesome
priority
stuff.
house is what we're trying to tell you.
Absolutely, get in there. Which I heard, and I've asked a lot of people what their favorite house was because we didn't go until Saturday, and nobody said Dr. Oddfellows,
Mm-mm.
and I'm so surprised.
Yeah, that one was really cool.
And right next to Dr. Oddfellows was another spectacular house with another killer entrance, The Darkest Deal. You two were both looking forward to this one. I think you guys said in the last podcast that this was your number one.
The whole idea and the story behind it, I thought was really cool.
Yeah, the backstory made it seem like it was going to be the best one for me because it dealt with a lot of blues and guitar playing,
Yeah.
and I love all that stuff.
Because what's the backstory, real quick?
A blues musician sells his soul to the devil, like straight to the point.
Just like Robert Johnson. If I think I said that on the last one, but yeah, Robert Johnson, the actual blues musician. That's like his
backstory.
The folklore that he went to the crossroads, the railroad tracks, and sold his soul to the devil, and then he became this successful blues musician after that.
Yeah, I loved it because you like see the entire story as you're going through. Like you see him starting out as this, musician who doesn't have a lot of steam, and then you see the devil, and then he gets, this big praise, and then the devil takes his soul, and the devil takes over, and then we're in hell. And I actually felt like my soul was being taken by this devil. Looked really freaking cool. And like I made eye contact with him, the first devil that we saw in there, and I was like, you just stole my soul. I felt it.
Which is exactly what you yelled at when we got through the house.
Yeah, I no longer
Yep.
have a soul.
Nope.
But it's okay. I went to the gift shop afterwards and got one for 20% off because I'm a pass holder.
Pass holder discount, that's the way
Yep.
to
So
go.
now my soul is back.
Can we...
And it's owned by Universal.
Maybe you disagree. I think out of all the houses, that is the best storytelling house.
For sure. I agree with that completely.
Okay.
I thought the set was really cool. You know what? There's like a theme going on here because like Stranger Things took us to hell. Darkest Deal took us to hell. We're going to hell a lot at HHN this year. There's a lot of
There's
a lot of hell.
lot of hellish houses.
yes.
Lots of fire.
Yeah.
You walk in the scene and things are just charred and embered up and
That's true. Yes.
burning because you're
Mhm.
in hell.
There is a theme going on
It's like
here.
the red lights on this side.
Thanks.
Hell.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in hell.
You are. You brought it with you.
Yeah. See? The rebel Spanish over here is just sitting in hell.
You got to watch the
He didn't have
pre-podcast.
enough money to get a new soul at the gift shop.
I'm soulless now.
Yeah, you're soulless.
But no,
It
that
took
house
all
is
of our souls.
another one great detailed. If you get a chance to watch it again, like look at all the cool stuff. Like it's super cool. Well
Yeah.
done. And I don't know what it is, but those stages, because it's in the back. If anybody who's watching knows the park, it's backed by Men in Black. And those two, what would you call them? Improvised studios, improvised tents.
Yeah, they're like pop-up buildings. They're supposed to be temporary buildings, but they've been there for a very long time.
They put houses back there, and there's usually a really good house back there, and both of
Yeah.
them this year are good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where like Wicked Growth
Mhm.
was.
They did the big
and-
pumpkin
yeah, yeah.
archway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like
the
Wicked
bug
Growth.
one was there last year.
Yeah, and both of those had really cool entranceways.
Yeah.
So I wish that they could do more with that at the other houses.
Another must-see house for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Darkest Deal was a winner. But yeah, the detail this year is good. Like, and the storytelling, especially with like the scare zones. You know, like every scare zone was tied to the icon, to the host. Dr. Oddfellows had a touch in every single scare zone this year. Like,
It's basically his life.
yeah, like you come in and he's walking across the Halloween Horror Nights neon sign and he's greeting everyone to come in. And then you go into Vamp 69 Summer of Blood. Holler at that one because
That was my favorite one.
the music
is
It's
the best
great music.
the soundtrack in Vamp 69.
It's like
So
you're at Woodstock.
I honestly just wanted to stay there and just vibe and dance the entire time. Like I was good just sipping on some ghoul juice and dancing with all these creepy hippie vampires.
We got
like
hippie vampires. We got bikers,
Surfer
flames.
vampires.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cuz we got the frequent fear pass and I want a night where we just have like a dance night and we just go to Vamp 69 and we just dance with the vampires all night.
And that's a good area to sit because there's a lot of benches there with the Central Park area.
Yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed that they didn't do more with the stage. I don't know if
Same.
I don't know if we just missed it and maybe they have some sort of show that happens every once in a while on the stage, but I was really hoping for like some vampy Jimi Hendrix to get up on that stage
Oh, that would've
and
been
like
so
rock
cool.
out.
Really-
You know what I'm
I
saying?
really thought there was
Oh,
gonna be
great
a
idea.
live
like
performance.
he's munching on necks and then singing Purple Haze. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
I wish.
But there is one vampire or one. He's not a vampire, right?
Yes, no.
Oddfellow?
What?
The Jimi Hendrix looking
Vamp.
character.
Yeah.
Yeah, the vamp.
There was a
Is-
Jimi
is
Hendrix
that-
looking character.
Is that
Scare
Oddfellow?
actor.
Because that was my theory.
Oh
'Cause
yeah,
he's
he
the
has.
only one that looks like that.
So in every scare zone, there is a version of Dr. Oddfellow because all the scare zones are kind of like stories throughout his life of how he gained immortality and like all of like his collection of horror basically.
Mhm.
And he befriended like a group of vampires and got them to pretty much take over Woodstock. So that was the story there. And he thinks that the Jimi Hendrix looking one was Dr. Oddfellow.
It looks like Oddfellow with a big afro.
I thought it
So
was
like,
just
that's his
some
hippie.
Jimi Hendrix tribute, but
That's his hippie
but
phase.
it could have been his hippie phase.
I had no idea all this stuff tied in together.
I know.
Like you're telling me. I'm like,
Yeah.
it makes it so much cooler knowing all that.
Yeah, isn't that so cool? So like the next scare zone that I want to talk about is Jungle of Doom because this is like real young Dr. Oddfellow. Like did you see him walking through
It's
the
the,
Jungle of Doom?
The origin
I'm-
of him, basically.
I missed him.
He's
Yeah.
holding a
but
skull.
the scare zone was wait, was he on the stilts?
No.
No.
He
Oh,
was
okay.
he was like dressed up in like those old timey like explorer outfits.
Yeah, he looks like he's in
Like
in
Tarzan.
Jumanji.
I missed
Yeah, like Jumanji, yeah.
I missed him, but the scare zone, a 10
Yeah.
out of 10.
So
10 out of 10.
So the story with this one, he goes into the Jungle of Doom and he retrieves the crystal skull that gives him immortality. And there's this stage at the front of the scare zone where he's holding the crystal skull and he's like laughing maniacally. It's kind of like a little like performance that he does every once in a while. We missed it when you went through it. They didn't have him standing there.
It's a bummer.
Yeah,
But
yeah, we got to see
he
that
was just
on
walking
Saturday.
through. He'll walk through the scare zone and then he walks up to the stage and then he goes.
It's like he gets his powers. So we
He's
see
like,
him.
I'm immortal now.
I think we saw him. He finds the skull. He discovers it. Then he walks around with it and goes on the stage. And then this little show happens where it's like the powers from the skull are getting into him.
Seeping into
Yeah,
his
and
body.
then he's gaining. The
I saw him
powers.
while we were walking through. He actually talked to me. He turned to me and he said, "Eyes forward," and I was like, "Ooh, yes, sir."
Knowing all this information now, how they're all tied together, I'm kind of mad at myself and upset with both of you for not telling me this beforehand because I would have paid way more
sorry.
attention to things so I could have more input on
I'm
these
sorry.
things.
Yeah, and then even the shipyard, that was like his collection of like horror monsters that he captured and they escaped. And shout out to Nosferatu being at Shipyard 32, Horrors Unhinged. That was a really cool little Easter egg. Nosferatu was trapped in one of the cages. And
Yeah,
I
you
was
got
like,
really excited when you saw that.
that's my favorite vampire. That's super cool. The OG vampire, Nosferatu. But on top of that, we tried some really awesome food, right? And drinks.
Yes.
I got to have my favorite pizza skull back this year. I was praying and hoping to the HHN gods that pizza skulls would be back, and they were. And I have to say, they are better this year.
Really?
Yeah, last year they
Very.
drenched it. They drenched it in tomato sauce, and this year they didn't. And I think that made it a lot better for some reason. It was like I don't know if it was just like a fresh pizza skull. I don't know if I got like the holy grail of pizza skull that night, but it was juicy and chewy, and it was moist, and it was just so good, and it was just full of cheese and meat and
The fillings were
deliciousness.
better this
The
year.
filling was really good this
Last
year.
year it was just sauce.
Yeah, and I got my pizza fries. I got my twisted taters. So I was a happy girl. My tummy was nice and full.
So what you're saying is people should try these skull pizzas.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I
Alright.
think my theory was correct that it was such a hit that they were gonna keep it, because we didn't notice the pizza skulls at the Taste of Terror,
Yeah.
and I thought they're so popular they'll just have them in a general
And they did.
concession spot, and
I
they
think,
did.
I think pizza skulls.
They're here to stay, I think.
Yeah, I think pizza skulls are here to stay. I think it's a new staple at Halloween Horror Nights now.
But I thought Jesus had one of the best desserts.
Oh yeah, Jesus had to holler at
yeah.
that.
That mummy Oreo cheesecake.
Mhm.
I could have
Did
had
you try
5 of
some?
those.
He let me have the first bite.
Yep.
Oh wow, that's so nice
'Cause
of
he's-
you,
he-
Jesus.
he's so
Lord
good.
and Savior.
My man's so good to me. And I thought it was great. I thought it was absolutely amazing.
It was
I'm
so
a
good.
cheesecake fiend. And I looked at him like, dude, you got to be kidding me.
I ate the cheesecake before the pizza. I
You did.
finished that thing in 3 bites.
And let's get crazy, because not only is it amazing, but it's reasonably priced. You're not going to overpay for this amazing creation
It
that
was like
is
$6,
Yeah.
$6.50.
Yeah.
So
something
good.
like that.
Yeah, the food was like pretty well priced, I have to say. But the lines were pretty
Ooh,
long.
that-
But you know what? We
that
showed
line
up.
was rough.
Yeah, that line was
It
rough.
was bad.
That we probably would have gotten that last house if it wasn't for this line in particular.
Good point. Good point. I
but-
didn't think of that.
But we did go on, Labor Day weekend. So, I mean,
Mhm.
that's on us. It's a bummer that, the first weekend happened to be on Labor Day.
I'm not
weekend.
mad at it, though. We all had a good time.
No, I mean, no, not taking away that
No,
we
we had a
had a
blast.
complete
Yeah.
blast. Just saying, Labor Day weekend was like, it was like October. It was like an October Halloween Horror Nights night.
Yeah. Surge.
but
a
while we-
big surge for
but
opening
while-
weekend.
But while we were waiting in line, I got to meet a lot of cool fans. Like I have this tradition where when I go to Halloween Horror Nights, I like to hide one of my action figures. I sign it. I put Happy Halloween and HHN, whatever year it is. And I met a really awesome girl named Jade. She's actually a really cool tattoo artist. She said the password, Bailey sucks, and she retrieved my action figure. And I started following her on Instagram, and her stuff is actually really dope. She is so talented. Like, I'm definitely sliding into those DMs and booking an appointment to get a tattoo with her, because she was really cool. And I love badass tattoo chicks. So that's awesome.
What's her handle?
She is Jade_Savage_.
She was really nice.
Yeah,
was cool.
she works at Devoted Tattoo Studio. So yeah, check her out. She's really cool. Definitely gonna holler at you, girl.
Well, you can see her on your Instagram page, which is what?
Shotzi WWE.
There you go.
Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
Got you.
you posted her. You tagged her with
Yeah,
her,
yeah, she
her
was
winning
really cool.
prize.
She was really cool. I can't wait to hang out with her and get a tattoo by her. Oh, and you might too, huh?
Yeah, I would love to. I need more.
Yeah.
I
Very,
gotta
very
catch
cool.
up.
But the fifth house, right? The fifth house that we went on to?
Our fifth house.
Yeah,
Yes.
after
Yeah.
we filled
Mhm.
up on food and got some ghoul juice.
Fifth house was Universal Monsters Unmasked, featuring Phantom of the Opera, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, The Invisible Man, and Hunchback.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you
think?
Saturday,
This one.
on Saturday, this house really got you.
Oh yeah, so I got to do this on Saturday and Sunday, And when Jesus and I went on Saturday, it was still super bright out. So when we went into this house and it's really dark, I couldn't see a dang thing.
Yeah, our eyes took a long
I was
time
like,
to adjust.
I cannot
It was very
see.
dark.
But the second night, we went on it at night, and it was even more spectacular than the first night. This house is awesome. And I mean, I knew I was going to love it because Holler at the Universal Monsters, I love them. They have my heart and soul. They're my homies for life. Jesus, what did you think about it?
It was really cool, the rain scene when you first walk in.
Oh.
That was pretty different. Just
It
being
started
in
out
there
real
and
well,
having
yeah.
the light mist, and then the character with the umbrella, and it just looks like you're walking in puddles in Paris, because you're there walking through the theater for Phantom of the Opera, and then seeing all the, I guess, the balcony bays. I don't know what you would call the theaters, like what the old dudes in the Muppets sit in. You're seeing a lot of those
Oh,
in
I
the
know,
house,
yes.
and then people are getting stabbed in their theater spot. That might be how. Is that how they got old Abe Lincoln? Was he sitting in one of those?
They took him. Yeah, they did. They took him
Yeah.
out, and
Yeah.
he's watching the movie, watching the old
They
theater.
should have done
Yeah,
a
he
little.
got murked.
Should have done a little teaser and have Abe Lincoln getting got. In
Oh,
that
man.
Oh
house.
my goodness, no.
That's brutal.
What did you think, Spanish?
I'm not gonna. Okay, so I love Universal Monsters. This house is great. I was expecting way less than what they brought because to me, the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, strongest character / characters. Then you've got Hunchback and then Mr. Invisible. 1 out of 3 to me off right out the gate. I'm like, all right, cool. This house is going to be mediocre. Absolutely not. This is one of my more favorite houses of the entire 10 you have the option to go to. Details scary as can be. They really, really do a good job. And this is a must see from me.
Yeah, I mean, this might be the scariest house to me, and this might win best set, might win most immersive, and scariest costumes. Because, oh my goodness, Phantom without the mask was terrifying. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Mr. Hyde got you.
Mr. Hyde was
Hyde
terrifying.
got you on some good
Oh
jump
my
scares,
goodness,
right in
yeah.
your face.
Oh, and then the scene where they have the mirror and then Phantom's like walking through. Oh, that was so good. Like just everything. There's this one part where Hunchback is above
in
you
the tower,
and he's like holding onto the bell and he's like doing some acrobatic shit where he's like on top of you scaring you.
Yeah, leans right
above
over
your
you.
head.
It was dope. It was again, I thought some of those characters going in would be subpar. And as you hear it, amazing house.
Absolutely.
From all 3 of us.
Amazing. We were like just the entire time.
Yeah, Invisible Man to me actually was a relief. He seemed like a pleasant guy.
Oh, I know.
In that house,
I
because
know.
everyone else was so scary.
Yeah.
When I saw Invisible Man, I thought, oh, thank God it's you.
I agree with that. When we got to Invisible Man, I was like, oh my God, I can breathe for a second
Yeah.
because everyone else was so terrifying.
I know I sound repetitive, but Invisible Man, best costume as far as detail goes.
Oh,
for
like
me.
as far as like staying true to the movie, like he had the best costume that was like true to the original Invisible Man movie.
Yeah.
Like you think about Invisible Man, this is your Invisible Man.
They did a great job on that one.
To the T, he looked awesome. And then we moved on to Spanish's like favorite house, huh?
Last of Us, it's a show on one of them crazy
Oh wait,
networks.
no, you don't know this one.
I don't. And
You didn't see Last of Us.
I-
I
and
guess I
it's
was thinking Stranger Things.
it's a video game that I've also never played, but zombies are my thing. And we went into it, and another very immersive, not one of my favorite, but very immersive houses. Top to bottom, you are inside the video game for what it is. And I give it like a 6.
That first scene I loved. They have a full size Dodge Ram that just crashed. That was really cool to walk around.
Yeah, I really love this house. It, was very on par with the video game. Like even like the movements of like the characters were just like on it. Like they looked like they were in a video game. And like the scare actors were just fantastic in this. The clickers looked really awesome.
It was cool seeing the progression of the clickers. You
Yeah,
see someone
yeah.
get infected, and then it starts to grow on them. Then you start to see the full costume.
Yeah, then you see the big fat bloated.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're all puffy.
Yeah, yeah.
Visually, it's great. I just wasn't one of my house. Visually, it's great though.
It was a really cool house, but it was my only gripe on it was that it was repetitive. But I mean, like, what else could you do? Like, I guess it was doomed to be repetitive because there isn't much scenery in The Last of Us. It would be like a Walking Dead house. It would just be like worn down, like stores and cities, you know, and that's what you got. So
But still worth a visit.
oh yeah, I mean definitely really cool, especially if you're a Last of Us fan. You got to check it out. Like the clickers alone were just worth waiting in that
Oh,
2
yeah.
hour line.
Yeah, if you play the game, you got to do this house.
You got to.
It's probably if you play the game, it's probably one of your favorites.
Oh, I know. I wish your brother could.
yeah,
come
he would love
over
it.
and- We have to take him.
It's one of his favorite games.
And then, so this is the part of the night where things got a little crazy. So as soon as we got done with The Last of Us, it was probably like 1:30, and we still had like 4-5 more houses to go. And so I was like, we only got 30 minutes. How are we gonna get these 4 or 5 houses done? We booked it. We got out of The Last of Us and we booked it over to the front of Universal, and we got on to Exorcist, and we got through speedy. Like it took us probably like 2 minutes to get into this one with our express pass. But this one is based on the new movie that's coming out, which it's pretty cool that we get to see this house before the movie even comes out. Like, this movie doesn't even come out until October 6th. We're getting it a month before.
Yeah, all we know is images from the trailer.
Yeah, all we
Just
know is
the
what
two
we
girls.
see. Yeah, all we know is what we saw from the trailer. And I think we got a lot of detail in this house. I feel like we're getting a lot of insight. I don't know. Maybe it gave away a lot. Maybe it gave away a lot.
We'll
You
find.
might have had some spoilers to other
Yeah,
characters or
I
other
think-
scenes
yeah.
from the movie.
Yeah,
even.
we did get some spoilers.
I just
it-
love that we had the original music. It doesn't scare. That music does not scare me.
doesn't?
Anytime I hear that music, I just start bobbing my head.
Really?
Because in that house, it starts off with that music, and I just feel like I'm walking into the club hearing the Exorcist music. I'm bobbing my head, and then it got scary because it's just people screaming and throwing up. But then 75% of the way through, that music came back, and all my fear went away. Like, all right,
Back in the
we
club.
got that bop again.
That music is terrifying. I would say it's
doesn't
like
scare me.
it's probably like the scariest sound in
It's so
horror.
catchy to me that it doesn't.
Like, it's
do
up
it.
there with Halloween theme.
I love that one too.
Oh my
Could
goodness.
you
They're
hum?
just so catchy.
Can you hum the song? Because I'm drawing a blank on how it sounds.
What you just
something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes. What'd you think of the house, though?
It's on the lower half.
Yeah, it was.
of
I
the
mean,
10.
I still enjoyed it. Obviously, like everything that Halloween Horror Nights does is gonna be awesome. But you know, when you have like houses like Monsters that are so immersive, then you know, it was that same thing where it was repetitive.
It was.
You know.
It was a lot of seeing the girl sitting on a chair,
Yeah.
And by the
arching her back.
and Universal, why are you
spinning
giving
her
this
neck.
girl a 5 head? This girl in the Exorcist house has like she looks like this halfway
Yeah, I
through
think-
most of the
I
house.
think-
Yeah, she had that
What are you doing?
Neanderthal.
So apparently, if you
forehead.
get possessed by the devil,
You lose your hair.
you lose your hair.
And your forehead grows out, and yeah,
No,
I
it
don't
just-
know.
it
Human Ninja Turtle possessed by the
Satan.
devil.
Yeah, absolutely. They did look like Ninja
Satan,
Turtles.
Satan wants that skullet.
They looked
You need to
like
get that.
Yeah,
you
they
need to
look-
get that Hogan.
they looked like fleshy Ninja Turtles.
Throw that Mr. Burns hairdo in there.
But there's some cool scenes in the house where you walk around the girl getting possessed and the lady's trying to get the demon out of her. But this poor girl, again, she needs to talk to a hair transplant doctor. 'Cause-
Yo, okay, wait, hold on. I have a question though.
Yes.
You know that like last scene where she's like on the chair and she's like
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking
the
about?
back is going up, she's
Yeah.
bending
I'm
backwards.
so confused. Was that an animatronic or was...
It's funny you say that because I was thinking the same thing.
Dude, I
So
could
at
not
first,
tell.
I
was
really
like,
thought it was a real person because I was waiting for her to jump out of the chair.
Same.
And then when we walked around her and it just started bending, I just thought that person either has immaculate core strength or it's an animatronic. I
Yeah.
think it was an animatronic.
that was, yeah, it was either like some really talented girl
Yeah.
or some really dope animatronic, like the coolest animatronic I've ever seen in my life.
it was really good.
I was staring at her hand when we got around her. I'm like, all right, let me look at the hand, how the nails look and the wrinkles. I'm like, maybe I can tell from there. Because again, like the three of us, I thought she was real.
Dude, I was staring at her the entire time. Like, I stopped us in line and was just like, wait, hold on. Are you... I was inspecting this and I could
Yeah.
not tell whether she was real or not. But that back bending was...
Which, bravo to Halloween Horror Nights for pulling that off if we can't tell if she's real or
Yeah,
not.
that was sick.
Super cool.
That was that was the best part for sure. For sure. And then we raced over.
and we were running,
Yeah,
actually running.
Oh, we were booking it
We
at
had
this
to beat
point.
the clock.
It was 1:45 at this point, and we were like, okay, maybe we can get 2 more houses in 15 minutes.
Legit.
Because all you
Legit.
gotta do is get in line by 1:59, and then you're in that house. So maybe we have time for 2 more houses. And Dueling Dragons and Yeti House were right next to each other, and I was like, Spanish, you gotta see both these houses because I loved them. So we booked it and we chose Dueling Dragons as our next house. And I love this house, and we were right.
Did not disappoint.
You do get to choose your fate. Fire versus ice. There was 2 holes, and you got to enter one of the holes. And one was warm and one was cold. It's getting a little vulgar in here. I think I'm still like worked up from Nightmare Fuel, you know that.
But the
shows
house
real
is
sexy.
amazing.
But yes, right?
Because when you first get into the
Yeah,
studio,
talk about it.
huge stone wall with this face, and it takes up the entire studio from ceiling to floor. It looks amazing. And yes, like Shotzi was saying, you go in and you see the dueling going on between the fire and the ice. The dragons are going at it. And you walk in, it's all these castles, dragon heads all over the place, very detailed. The costumes light up as if they are having fire and ice glow inside them. And at a certain point, like Shotzi was saying, you get to pick which side you go to,
The
and
ice
that's your
dragons
fate.
looked just like White Walkers.
Yeah,
for
it was
you
very
Game of Thrones
yeah,
fans.
it was giving me a real Game of Thrones.
It looked really
vibes.
cool because those White Walkers look mean.
Yeah, like these White Walker costumes, these ice costumes were pretty sick, and they were like lighting up, and they had these spikes.
yeah,
It
these
kind of looks like what
ice
I'm doing
spikes.
with my hair on TV now.
Yeah.
I felt like that house too in the beginning before you have to choose your path had the most room too to not feel like you were locked in a lane to walk through, and you could actually relax and take in.
Yes,
all
it was
the
very
house.
spacious. Yeah, there was multiple points where you get into like a huge opening, and you get to see like the castle, and then there was like the two
Big dragon
dragons, and they
heads.
were like breathing
One shooting
fog.
ice fog. One is ice fog, and the other one's hot steam.
Yeah, and we chose ice, baby, ice,
Yep.
baby. We chose ice that round. Jesus and I did fire the first night, so we saw both of them. It's pretty much towards like the end of
It's
the,
pretty
the house. You go,
interesting. So the first night I noticed everyone chose fire, and
Yeah.
we chose fire that first night because we didn't want to walk to the other one by ourselves.
Mhm.
And that second night, everyone chose fire
No,
again.
the people in front of
No.
us chose fire.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Everyone chose fire
Oh,
again.
okay, sorry.
So then
Not listening.
we went to the ice side, and we were the only ones in there. I don't
Yeah.
know why everybody likes the fire side more.
I'm glad we went to the ice. I thought
Yeah,
that was
me too.
cool.
Yeah, the ice costumes were way better, and then your boy Merlin,
Oh yeah, Merlin
or
shows up. I was
Gandalf,
like,
one of
"What?"
them just shows up
Merlin?
and says, "You did it. You made it. You're alive."
Yeah, and there's this like cool book that glows, and I don't know, you win or you save the kingdom or something. It was pretty cool. It was a good ending. It's a happy ending. You
Yeah.
don't get a lot of happy endings at Halloween Horror Nights, so that was a good relief.
This
you
was
know?
probably the least scary house. It was more fantasy, more adventure.
yeah. It was. This house is
It
more
looked awesome.
100%.
fun. I think
Yeah.
this is a good warm up house because I always need a warm-up house because I am a terrified little scaredy baby boy, and I just can't handle it sometimes. And this is a good one to start with if you're a little scaredy baby boy like I am. So yeah, fun house. I give it like an 8.
That's good for me. That was a very, very good house.
Great
Good-
house.
Good lighting. It was very fun. It wasn't that scary and really immersive.
And that's a great point to what Shotzi was saying. If you're more into the gore and you still need to do all the houses, do this one early because it's not scary gory, but it's a great warm up to like, all right, here we go. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna be stuck behind people. We're gonna be watching all this cool stuff, and we'll knock this one out first.
Yeah, like this and Chucky I think is a good warm-up house. Those two are like pretty tame with the gore.
It's not, and it's also not dark. That's also what gets a lot of people is when you walk into a lot of dark spots and you don't know what's coming at you. You can see everything in this one.
Yeah. And then
as we got out of that,
we got out of this house at 1:56 a.m. and we booked it to our last and final
through
house.
the streets of New York.
Just barely making it into that line. Like I was so sure that this lady was gonna turn us away, but we got in to the Yeti. We made it in. And Spanish, what did you think about the Yeti?
All right, Universal.
Because you were excited about this one.
I was very excited about this house. If you've done Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Orlando Resort, you know they did a house a couple years ago where it was very immersive again. The Yeti was actually on top of you at one point if you were paying attention in the house. He ran over you. And Yeti, cold, winter, he's Bigfoot with an ice cover.
Yeah.
He's not in the can I be honest?
Just be honest. I love honesty.
He wasn't covered in white for like 90% of the house. He was brown. He is Bigfoot. That is the Bigfoot house. That is not the Yeti
You're
house.
racist.
It was a scary Chewbacca.
He only likes the white Yetis.
It was.
He doesn't like the brown Yetis.
You heard a cocaine bear was cocaine Chewbacca because that's what it looked like.
But Cocaine Bear
Cocaine
made
Bear
an
was in
appearance.
there.
Hey, yo, there was
He
a
did.
big ass cocaine bear in this house, which was pretty cool.
But not even being funny, he's the abominable snowman. That's what the Yeti is, and that's what we didn't get.
I really just wish that they called this the
We were just
Bigfoot
in the
house.
woods.
It should.
But I mean, I can just take away that they're mixing up Sasquatch and Yetis. I really love this house. I love my rednecks, and I got some good redneckery in this.
Redneckery. I've never heard that before.
What's that? What? Oh, the Hills Have Eyes. It was very like Hills Have Eyes. You get like the trailers and like the Hicks.
Yeah,
and
they're trying to. One of them messed with the Yeti baby and should not have done that. To the
that
Yeti
scene.
Cup,
That
'cause
scene
Mama
was
came
really
out,
cool.
Or
And
Daddy came out and got that hillbilly.
yeah,
Stop using the word Yeti.
Got
That's Bigfoot.
Okay, all right. Yeah,
So
there's
they
the-
got that hillbilly did something to Babyfoot and Bigfoot was not happy.
Oh, I liked that when you looked out into the lake, there was the people floating dead in there.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, just
that
laying
shit's
face down.
so creepy to me.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, very nice. Stole that from La Llorona from last year. Very cool. Very creepy.
Is that the house we saw the Shrek bathroom in? No.
the
that,
outhouse.
that was
No,
that was
that
early
was
in the
Dark
night.
as Steel. That was Dark as Steel.
But I will say for the fact that, the house is not Yeti-esque, but it does visually stimulate you. You will get scared.
Mm-hmm. And that was the last house that we did that night.
We got out of there. It was after 2 a.m. and everything had closed down. All the wait times did not have numbers. They all said closed. We couldn't go in the tribute store, so we had to go home.
That was the latest I've ever stayed at Halloween Horror Nights too, by the way. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Yeah, we got done with everything around like 2:10.
Yeah,
We were pushing it.
we shut
We
it
were
down.
pushing it. We were running after The Last of Us
Legit.
to everything else.
I wonder how late people are actually there, because when we went through Dueling Dragons and Yeti, that Stranger Things line was still really long.
Dude, for real. Like
They're
you're
probably there till 3 a.m.
easily. That line was absolutely obnoxious.
Mm-hmm.
That was actually my tactic when the first time I did Halloween Horror Nights. I didn't show up until like 10 p.m. because I had a show beforehand. And I did that strategically. I didn't have an express pass. I waited till the very last second to get in line for Stranger Things. I was actually the last person to go through Stranger Things that
That's
that
scary.
night in
That's
2018.
cool.
Yeah. And yeah, I probably left the park at like 3 a.m.
Damn.
Yeah, so I got to know y'all top 3 houses in order. Let's go. Spanish, what do you got?
3-1. My third favorite house, Universal Monsters. Detail, getting impressed again. Like earlier, I was saying how I expected less from some of these characters. Absolutely delivered on every scale in that house. You will love that. My second favorite house, Dueling Dragons. Just visually, I'm a nerd into that kind of sci-fi. You could make it a sci-fi thing because Lord of the, all that other stuff. But
Yeah, sci-fi fantasy.
great,
Fits in
and
there.
and then you've got options. You can it's a reason to do the house twice. But my favorite house, Dr. Oddfellow, hands down. And I'm not even gonna explain why. Just go to the house. You'll know why. Go to the house.
Jesus?
I would say number 3,
Mm-hmm.
Darkest Deal.
Okay.
I loved the blues. I loved the guitar. I loved the story. It really resonated with me because it's all the stuff I like. And seeing Satan playing the guitar, that was cool.
That was pretty cool.
And then number 2, I would say Dr. Oddfellow. That carnival was done really well. Seeing Oddfellow in his full form, that was really cool. All of his, what do you call his minions that he's possessed in the carnival?
The freaks?
Yeah, the freaks were good. Those were
The carny freaks?
The freaks were the scariest part because when you actually saw Oddfellow, then it was like, oh, this guy's cool because he's on a stage,
Yeah.
and then you're attracted to him, and then my favorite was Monsters Unmasked. I really loved being in Paris and seeing the Hunchback falling on top of you. We didn't talk about the Invisible Man scene. It was all black, and you just have the black light effect of him flashing just lights on his rags or gauze for his costume. That was pretty cool.
Nice top 3.
Yeah.
My number 1.
Mine is really similar to y'all's, actually.
What do you got?
So for in third place was actually a tie. I could not decide which was number 3. It was a toss-up between Darkest Deal and Dueling Dragons.
Okay.
I loved both those equally, and I could not decide because my soul was being stolen, but then like the dragons were really cool, and then the splitting off and the warm and the cold holes. I could not decide. I couldn't decide.
Understandable. I can understand that.
And then in my number 2 spot, I put the Universal Monsters, my homies for life. Just best costumes, best scenery, just so immersive, beautifully done. Bravo. And of course, I already told you what my number 1 was, Dr. Oddfellow's Twisted Origins. I love the carnival. That was like a 10. That house is a 10. But I think that Monsters was a 10 too. They were 10 in.
Very close.
They were 10 in.
But it's still the beginning of the season. It's just opening weekend. We're gonna go to these houses a lot more. So your top 3 could change.
Correct. Because
Chucky could be in that top 3 by Halloween time.
Okay,
You know.
hold on. Calm down. But I do have to say you are right, because the first time around I thought that we did Dueling Dragons, Yeti, and Monsters, and I thought that Dueling Dragons and Yeti were better than Monsters, and now Monsters has
surpassed
them both. So yeah, I think you're right. But yeah, that's it. We did it. Halloween Horror Nights. We completed all 10 houses. We went through the scare zones. We ate the potatoes of Twisted and pizza, and we ate skull pepperonis, and we did it all. I got through it.
Thanks for taking me.
I survived.
Blood and guts.
I lost my soul.
Twisted tater.
I got it back.
Ghoul juice.
Can't
Mummy
wait to do it
cheesecake.
again tomorrow. Yeah, I think we're gonna go again tomorrow.
Every day.
You guys want to go again tomorrow?
Every day.
I can't go tomorrow.
How about we go tonight?
We can go right now.
I know that it's closed right now, but maybe we just go.
I'm down.
We can go camp out.
Yeah, let's go. I gotta just freaking go, and without this wig,
Yeah.
let's freaking go.